What's up, my good peoples? Congratulations, you've just fallen victim to excellent Islamo-Marxist trolling. We'll get into all that, but first of all, let's turn up a little bit, right? We're celebrating. Aren't we talking Latin culture and shit? Let's go. I've played this before, obviously, but this is a stone cold classic, okay? This is better than anything Bad Bunny has ever recorded, okay? Let's just be real here. So, there are issues. We'll go into it. That's right. Imagine performing this in the Superbowl. The English thing is a whole different convo. Alright? Way better. Wait for it. We gonna turn up, man. Alright, let's go. Get you a bad Spanish girl. Let's go. Listen, here's the prop. There's so many problems with this, but again, this is trolling at its finest, what you've experienced with Bad Bunny. So I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna be kind of quick about this. Number one, there's a couple of issues that you're dealing with. There's a few. There's a huge demoralization, anti-American sentiment that's really going on. I have talked about this on my channel multiple times. I don't know if y'all are starting to see it. Maybe I think a lot of y'all, obviously, you're very savvy and I love y'all. I think y'all see it and you understand where I'm coming from. But for those of y'all who don't see it, it's there. And it's getting more and more apparent. Okay? Now, here's the issue. As I watched in this video, by the way, shout out to Amala Eponinobi. That sounds actually Igbo. She might even be, like, it doesn't sound exactly Igbo, but somewhere that's close, Nigerian, that kind of thing. But close to my tribe. The point is, she broke it down, and I encourage you to watch her video. It's not bad. But the point is, she was like, you know, Kendrick did start this. And not that he started it, but Kendrick came in and essentially was Mr. Morale, Mr. Demoralization. And he brought that wave of anti-American sentiment. You might have not paid attention, but again, this is the problem with Kendrick Lamar. He's a cultural Marxist. He's a DEI rapper, right? When you talk, they not like us, all that tribalism shit, what you're doing is cultural Marxism all over again, right? Mediocrity. And so now that we've had Kendrick, who delivered, in my opinion, probably the worst Super Bowl performance that I've certainly ever seen or certain parts of, we now have Bad Bunny, who's delivered yet another garbage Super Bowl performance, although I would argue that this one is even a little bit better. But again, Bad Bunny isn't doing anything new here, okay? He's a pawn at the end of the day. He's a simple artist who is, like, right now, the cultural institutions, many of them hard left, have these ideas where they want to sell this anti-American stuff. They're getting money from Qatar, the CCP. Again, it sounds conspiratorial, but it's really not. Okay, there's receipts everywhere for this shit. The point is, they're now trying to sell this idea of essentially our tribe gets to have a voice. America is oppressive. We are the oppressed people. All this garbage, right? It's the same DEI cultural Marxist nonsense that I've talked about before. And Bad Bunny is just continuing in that tradition. Now, here's the problem. There's two major issues to me when it comes to Bad Bunny in general. Number one, and I would argue the first major issue, is that Bad Bunny is trash. Let's just call it what it is. This guy is not a good artist. I'm not saying he's a bad person. I don't know him personally, but his music is trash. We know it is. We know that it's at best mediocre, if not downright trash, okay? I like La Canción. La Canción is mostly a J Balvin record, if you ask my honest opinion. But that's beside the point. I think he did well on La Canción, okay? So I'm not saying that Bad Bunny is all the way garbage, but he's certainly very, very mediocre. We know he don't really have joints like that, okay? Now, you can say, well, he's the most streamed Latin artist. I don't give a fuck. We live in an era of bots. Over 50% of the internet is straight beep, 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 010010 speak. Okay? I don't care. Right? This nigga is nobody compared to the people, especially that I grew up on. That's just, so when you tell me that so much of America, no, they're not. Okay? So the truth is, he's not really all that popular. If we're being real here, okay? Does he have some popularity? Sure. Is he the flavor of the month? Of course he is. But has he made anything that would warrant a giant stage? No. No, not at all. And again, I'm not super familiar with Latin music, quote unquote, the reggaeton scene, but reggaeton borrows from, reggae, right? Obviously, borrows from trap. So it's not out of my ballpark necessarily. And, I have friends that have been around. I know about J Balvin, Rosalia, Karol G, all these artists, right? They are all better than Bad Bunny, if you ask me. But again, that's kind of not necessarily the point. The point here is that American exceptionalism is under attack and has been under attack for decades now. If you're not familiar with the term, I should have Googled this actually. American exceptionalism, an exception, look at me, I can barely say, right? American exceptionalism is the belief that the United States is inherently unique, exemplary, or superior to other nations due to its distinct history, democratic institutions, and foundational values like liberty and equality. Okay? If you ask my honest opinion, I think American exceptionalism is a beautiful thing. Because when you look at the way that America was founded, it was founded on amazing ideas. Really and truly. Did it have slavery? Of course, right? Again, but a lot of people had slaves anyway, right? Let's just be honest here about what it was, okay? But the cores of what made America from the get-go, and this is why America is the number one country on the planet, it was built on very great ideas that actually weren't commonplace when they were set up. Okay, there's a certain thing about America that says you can be if you are the best that you can be, you can have the white picket fence, you can have the riches, you can have the success. And the truth is, America is really the only place on the planet where it's mostly guaranteed. It's never guaranteed 100%, but America is the closest country where that is guaranteed. Because I'll tell you something, when you live in some of these other countries, like I've lived in other countries, you will realize that that is not the case in a lot of other countries. In a lot of other countries, if you don't know the person who is running the government directly, if you're not the right religion, you're not the right tribe, it doesn't matter how hard you work. You're going to be digging through garbage. Okay, like in Venezuela, for example. Okay, you're not cool with Maduro, good luck, right? America is the one place that says, we want the best, come be the best, and you gonna prosper. That is a beautiful thing. And so when you have Bad Bunny put on a pedestal who is whack, let's be honest here, he's not good. We know he's not good. Like, come on. When you put Bad Bunny, a whack to mediocre artist, on a pedestal and say, this is what we all need to pay attention to, you are taking a shot at American exceptionalism. Come on, man. We're not stupid. Okay? And cultural Marxists love this. Because a cultural Marxist wants to undermine the institutions, the things that make America superior. Right? Because the truth is, American exceptionalism made America great. If America continues to, pride on excellence, meritocracy and stuff, no one is going to be interested in communism, Islam, and all of these garbage ass ideas. People from those countries are going to flee those countries and come to America. So what does a cultural Marxist want? A cultural Marxist says, I can't directly shoot at America because they got the guns. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the money and then take over their institutions subtly, right? And kind of, wear them down and get people to believe that you don't have to be exceptional. You just have to be part of the right tribe, right? You got to have the right skin color, the right religion, right? And then you too get a voice. It doesn't matter how good you are, because in fact, being good is racist, right? Who defines what good is? After all, it's white people that define what good is. It's fucking racist. You don't have to be good. You just have to exist. These are the ideas that are permutating. And again, this is the number one issue, if you ask me, that I have with the whole Bad Bunny thing. Bad Bunny is not good, right? Now, you're going to say, Tochi, most pop music is not that great. Sure. But I'd argue that Michael Jackson, Prince, and some of these other artists are actually exceptional artists, right? You want to put exceptionalism on a pedestal. J-Lo is a better artist than freaking Bad Bunny, okay? So again, let's not let the standards slide. And if we're going to start letting the standards slide, especially on the one event that brings all of America together, it is the big event of the year, every single year, right? It shows you that the cultural Marxists out here are very hard at work. They really and truly are. Now, so that's my first problem. My second problem with Bad Bunny's performance is the language issue, actually. And it is actually more important than someone might think it is. So here you are, you're performing in a language that most people in the country do not speak, okay? Now, I like Spanish. I always like the sound of Spanish. I think Spanish is fly, all that shit. But at the end of the day, most people in the United States do not speak Spanish, okay? You're talking about what? At most, I think it's like 30 million people maybe speak Spanish, maybe, out of like 350 million. So you're talking 1 in 10. Let's just say 1 in 10 people speak Spanish. So why should I have to listen to your Spanish, your rambling Spanish, when 1 in 10 people speak this shit? And they might not even like Bad Bunny. So that's even less. You get my point? We all speak English. English is America's language. Now, I know that America doesn't have an official language on the books, but let's be honest about what the official language is ultimately. I would say by sort of consensus, it's English. Okay? So no, I don't want to see you come up on stage and sing in Spanish the entire time, and I don't understand what the fuck you're talking about, especially when you're trash. Now, if it's Tito Puente, Oye Como Va, which is a fantastic song, it doesn't matter whether you speak Spanish or not. That's different. Now we're putting, again, remember the first thing, American exceptionalism or exceptionalism in general on a pedestal. Because America does also say, if you are exceptional in your country, in Cuba or in Venezuela or in Nigeria or whatever, we want that too. Because that's the brilliance of the United States, right? So if Tito Puente or Celia Cruz or some amazing artist, right? And I know these are older artists, it doesn't quite count in a way because we're in the trash generation. But the point is, if they decided that people wanted to do it, they wanted to do a Super Bowl, I don't know if I'd be against that necessarily. A lot of people like their music because it's fucking phenomenal, right? But again, even that, I would say, I mean, that's even an exception in a way. Because the truth is, there are exceptional people in America who sing in English. This is a time to bring everyone together. And language is a crucial part of social cohesion. When you start pedestaling all the different languages in your country, in your biggest event that is supposed to bring people together, what you're communicating to your public is you are not part of the right tribe right now, okay? They are, or not even they are, because the people behind the scenes don't really care about that. What they're trying to say is we are divided, we are about tribes. Which tribe is going to get to speak next? And honestly, that is a place I do not want to be. All right. I'm Nigerian. Okay. I understand Nigeria's been through tribal. A lot of places go through this tribal shit. Okay. When we tell you and say, you don't want that tribal nonsense in your country, I don't know why y'all don't believe us, because it's the truth. Right. It makes it so easy for outsiders to come manipulate, cause chaos, which is exactly what they're doing. So I don't like that shit. And the truth is, if you look at the Copa America and there was a Latino individual on Instagram that I saw who talked about this. If I go to Copa America, I'm not expecting to hear country music. In fact, if everyone there who, routinely plays for the Copa, right? The Copa is an institution of South America, right? And by those, for those of y'all who don't know, sorry, I'm a vicious tether, so I'm more, soccer is more, or football is more the real football to me. But the point is, if I'm at the Copa America, I don't want to hear country music from Nashville. If a Nashville artist all of a sudden comes and starts singing, wouldn't everybody be like, what the fuck is this? What is this person doing here? Right? Again, social cohesion, it matters. Okay? If you want to be Latin, you can be Latin, but you can be Latin in Latin countries. But once you come to the United States or Canada, you are now Canadian. You are now American. Luckily, our countries are so great that we allow you to still keep aspects, or at least the best aspects, hopefully, of what makes you Latin. So you can keep those. But you're going to ditch a lot of the other shit too. Okay? Because ultimately, you are now an American. You are now a Canadian. This is not hard to understand. Okay? Now, you might say, well, but Tochi... I mean, what about all the culture? You're anti-culture. All the dancing on stage and all that shit, right? Let's see if I can even find a video, or not a video, actually. I would say like a picture of the Super Bowl performance with all the twerking and the all that. Again, a lot of shit appropriated, but again, we're not going to go into that, right? Now, you might say, man, this is such a celebration of Latinhood or whatever the fuck, right? I would argue that this is actually, you're again getting trolled, you're getting deceived, because this is not aimed at Latin people, okay? I would argue most Latin people already know, they don't necessarily want to see Lady Gaga come on and sing some random song. Latin people in general, again, I'm generalizing, but when you see these things, you see all these faces, the Latinx and brown people and all that stuff, you're tempted to think that this is aimed at a Latin audience and it's there for the Latin people to feel proud. That's the trick. The trick is it's actually not aimed at them. It's aimed at your goofy, white, liberal, cultural Marxists. And they're the ones that put this stuff on a pedestal to begin with. They're the ones that want to see this shit. Because your average Latin person is not really sitting there being like, you know who I want to see at the Super Bowl? Bad Bunny. I'm willing to, listen, call me wrong. But, go find somebody who's Latin or whatever, speaks Spanish, and come back to me about that in the comments and tell me that I'm wrong. But I would argue that most of the people that are cool with this are your cornball, white, cultural Marxist types. And the reason they're cool with it is because, again, their overall goal is power, power, power. I need to undermine the systems. I am mediocre. I'm too fucking mediocre to compete in the way that America typically wants you to compete. So for me to either grab new power or, shit, I'm sliding into corruption. I'm falling off, right? NFL. I'm falling off and I need to maintain controversy, viewership. Oh, shit. Okay, and I mean, damn, everybody that runs this organization is lily white and old, and we're out of fucking touch. Fuck. How do we hold on to power? Oh, where's a token? Let's get a token. Those are the audiences for this shit. They don't give a flying fuck about the brown girls dancing. They don't give a fuck, okay? Just because something presents brown doesn't mean that it's actually brown. And for this, I'll go to my man Weber. Shout out to Weber because I thought this was actually hilarious. Now, a little backstory here. So Weber is about to watch a trailer. For those of y'all, he's a movie critic. He's about to watch a trailer for Boots Riley, a thing called I Love Boosters, right? Shout out to Boots Riley, but respectfully, I've never heard in my life, yo, put on that Boots Riley. It's just never been a thing. Like I've literally never heard of shit outside ever, and I'm a hip hop dude. I've been listening to hip hop for decades. I've partied just about everywhere. I haven't been to Oakland though. I will shout out to Oakland. I haven't been there, but I've never heard this guy, the Coop and all that shit. I tried to listen to that stuff back in the early 2000s. Like you'd see again the white casuals. The Coop is an amazing rap artist. These are the best rap artists. Then you'd be listening to this Arrested Development ass shit, and you're going, what the fuck? Sorry, that's a little harsh. But let me show you something that I think is really fascinating because this will drive home my point here.
Boosters. I don't even know what this is. Boots Riley? Okay, here it comes. This is I Love Boosters. I don't know what to expect. It's short. It's 1:36. I didn't even see his last film. What was it called?
No one did. Well, I'm not going to say no one did. But again, we all know who Boots Riley makes movies for. And it ain't us. Okay? And it's not Weber either.
Yeah. Did you guys see it? Is it any good? All right, let's watch this. I Love Boosters? We talking about like vaccinations? What the hell's happening here? Let's find out.
That shit had me dying when I first heard it. He was like, huh, what? What the fuck are boosters? That shit had me crying. Because obviously anyone in hip hop, we've heard the term boosters a gazillion times. If it's in the Black American community, pretty much everyone knows what the fuck a booster is. Okay. So, and he's white. Okay. He's from Columbus, Ohio. They don't talk about boosters and shit like that. But again, this is what's very interesting because we know who boosters are. We're not trying to see a movie about boosters. They're not that interesting all at the end of the day necessarily, unless, like, for example, you do, let's say, the Puerto Ricans or some shit like that, right? The lowlifes and shit like that, and you did some kind of fly movie. But you see, Boots Riley won't do that because Boots Riley don't really know like that. You know what I'm saying? he's not really trying to show you aspects of hip hop culture, right? He's there to make movies for white people and so that they feel better about themselves, right? The lowlifes, okay? You'll notice that. So, anyway.
Challenge in a job like this.
I shop here a lot, and I feel like I should have it all. Just want to take it all home, eat it up, and shoot it out my eyes.
What? What is happening? What's neon? So of course you're gonna ask that question.
What?
I just feel like, give it to me. It's mine anyway.
That is such a good answer.
I obviously know what he is. Oh, boosting is stealing things? I didn't even know that. This is
Of
news
course
to
you
me.
didn't. You wouldn't know.
What's a booster? Somebody that steals.
Oh, here they're telling us. My God, my bad, my fault. Here we go.
Exactly. They have to include that in the trailer. That tells you right away, this is for the white liberal, the non-black, non-hip-hop audience. Because we know what the shit is. You gotta throw that in the trailer. It means you are aiming this at people who don't fucking know a thing about this. Okay? And again, I'm not saying that that's necessarily bad to make movies about things. I mean, not everything has to be in group. But what I am trying to say is that if you are ultimately making a movie that is using elements of a subculture, right? And not even I would argue, the best part of the subculture, and you're watering it down for a white audience while presenting black, that's cooning. I mean, it's either direct cooning or one step away from cooning. Right? Which is what a lot of this DEI shit boils down to when you really think about it. Because like I said, if Boots Riley had done the lowlifes, shown the Decepticons and all that shit with some hip hop, like, you know, Sean Price, whatever, like some hip hop ass shit, now you're not cooning. You're showing people in their element, right? The good and the bad. But the moment you take it out of that element, right, and now you just want to talk about, I love boosters. But you have the black people who are just stealing shit, and you have the white boys smiling. Now you're in coon territory.
Booster. Somebody that steals clothes from a store and sell it at a discount price? It's like,
Oh, I did not know that. This is news tonight.
community service.
Yeah, I didn't see Sorry to Bother You. It was
Weber, and y'all, if you saw Sorry to Bother You, I'm sad. I saw, unfortunately, that garbage ass film. Okay, I'm sorry, I have to go in tonight, but it's just the truth. I saw this garbage. Okay, that movie was fucking garbage. It started out okay, and then you know when it had that twist, and you're like, "What the fuck? This is garbage." Okay, this is silly. But again, that's a movie that's made for white hipsters, or I would even white cultural Marxists and their token friends. Okay, it presents black, but it's not black. Nothing about it is black.
it good? Should I watch it? I've heard mixed things.
I call it
Yeah, it sucks.
fashion forward philanthropy. I know how to spell philanthropy. Branding, though. Together, we empty out every single metro designer in the Bay Area. It's the Velvet Gang. They're
I mean, not really for me, this movie. But
It's not for
I'll
anybody.
continue for another minute.
Yeah.
boosting from my store.
Because you're not a corny, hard left white person. so you're not gonna find this interesting. You're gonna be like, what the fuck is this?
It's these Smith Post wigs.
They take my shit and sell it because they're low-class urban bitches.
It's Demi
With all
Moore,
due
isn't it?
respect to urban
Wow,
bitches.
how much work she did on her face. It's like perfect. She doesn't look like, she's like 60. You don't look like that at 60 without having major work. Or have 50 pounds of makeup like Melania Trump.
That's facts.
Sorry, it's true. Dude, her face is airbrushed. Imagine every day waking up getting airbrushed.
So let's-
Even with my bust, it's just not, I'm allowed. I don't have to watch movies.
Yeah, not good, not good.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's one I'll pass on.
I think we'll all pass on this shit. But he gets to a point that I wanted to say.
Honestly.
Let me see if he
It's
says it.
not, I'm allowed. I don't have to watch movies, right? You guys know that. There's like movies that I just say, no, I'm not interested. What was the one? There's been a bunch recently. It's not, by the way, that's not just because, look, it's an African-American cast. So someone will say, look at you. Like, dude, no, I still have to want to watch the movie. It doesn't matter what the race of the cast is for fuck's
Exactly,
sake. It matters,
exactly.
like, when you watch the trailer, and I don't even like to watch trailers all the time because I don't want to know, but I'm glad I did because I don't want to see I want boosters. I love boosters. What? Who's this for? Not for me, that's for sure. At least
Yeah.
I'm being honest,
Yeah.
right? Do studios love losing money? I mean, yeah, I guess, right? That's what it's talking about.
So here's the thing. He and I'm not gonna bore you necessarily with the details, but he makes a very apt point, which I've said for years about many of these black presenting artists that are really making music films for a disconnected white, hard left white audience. Okay, is that at the end of the day, they are actually everything about the way they synthesize their material and put it together is actually very white. You get what I'm saying? So, for example, he mentions that this reminds him of some Wes Anderson shit, which is 1,000% facts. Now, I'm not anti-Wes Anderson, but niggas don't really watch Wes Anderson movies. Let's just be real here. And not to use the N-word here, but, we grew up on, and black folk are very savvy with their films. Don't get it twisted. So, Wes Anderson is not one of the directors that I would argue your black, savvy audience is checking for, right? They definitely know James Cameron, Ridley Scott, right? Like, you're talking, the good shit, right? Wes Anderson it's quirky, it's very white, suburb. And again, nothing wrong with that. There's an audience for that. But when you take that aesthetic and you slap it on, you put a black plant, and you say, go represent the niggas, right? This is DEI. Obviously, I'm going to have a problem with it because I can't relate to that shit. And I know what it is. It's not, you can fool people who don't know, but for me and people who do know, we're going to like, this isn't representation. This is what you think representation should be, which ultimately is self-serving for you. And that's the whole point. When you go back to this stuff with Bad Bunny, it ain't got shit to do with Hispanic culture, right? At the end of the day, what are they really doing in the Bad Bunny performance other than whatever a white person's vision is of what Hispanic culture is? Twerking, singing, maybe someone works a field, right? It's all very performative. They don't care. I guarantee you the people who are praising, and I know people already who are praising this stuff. I'm Facebook friends with them. I know these people are not out with Hispanic people. You will never see them in Hispanic neighborhoods, restaurants, hanging out at their parties. You just will not see them, right? These are some of the most lily disconnected white people ever. And they're like, I love that performance. Like, it's really a great way and an excellent fuck you to Trump, because that's what it's about. It's about destroy, destroy, destroy. I hate Trump. I hate ICE. I hate America. Destroy, destroy, destroy. That's all it is. And this is why, ultimately, what you're getting from Bad Bunny is fuck you, as you are getting from Kendrick Lamar and a lot of these DEI artists. It's just fuck you at the end of the day. There's no one's discussing the art because there's really nothing to discuss. The art's not good, right? It's there to provoke, right? And that's what a cultural Marxist will always do. They will always provoke. They will always agitate. Right? What they're hoping for is that you, as they agitate and cause violence, then you respond and they'll tape your reaction so that they can run and present it and go, oh my God, he hit me. He said this nasty thing about me. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Right? Crybaby shit. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. But let me know what you think. I appreciate y'all always checking out my points, and more hip-hop to come, hopefully, if people want to drop some hip-hop. But if they want to continue to do the DI thing, whatever, right? I'll just, I'll just say what I got to say. By the way, I do think it's hilarious, by the way, on a very random note, that when Hit Boy played Spicy, I think I had talked about this, and no one gave a fuck. What did I tell you guys about King's Disease and all that garbage shit? Did I actually call it Midboy? Oh yeah, Midboy Strikes Back. I recommend, for those of y'all who thought it was a hater and all that stuff, go back and listen and watch the reviews I've done on all the Nas and Hit Boy stuff, right? The King's Diseases, what was the other thing? King's Disease, Magic's, whatever. 6-7 albums of straight garbage, actually. Again, what's under attack is exceptionalism. The idea is to demoralize you so hard that you don't even think it's possible for people to be talented and to make genuinely great shit. I refuse to believe that shit. I know there are people, I'm not the only one, because I'm telling you, you will see. I'm coming with some shit that you're going to be like, what the fuck? Yes, I'm not the only one. There are people out here that have been fucking put aside for years who genuinely have stuff to say, who genuinely have great art to make, but the cultural institutions are so corrupt and they're so fucked that they've been shoved to the side. And I'm telling you, people are fucking tired. And I hate to, pardon my language, but the truth is, we are tired of this shit. We know it's all performative. We know it's all performative ideas come by these cultural Marxists who are racist. Some of them unbelievable racists in their own right. Because to them, they're like, yeah, let's put on some mediocre Latin rapper. They're mediocre anyway. And at the bar should be low for them, right? Anyway, I love y'all. We gonna talk. Peace.